Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. You're very welcome to our weekly review show, and we're looking back as usual to all the action from the weekend. There was only two county games on, and that was the hurlers trip to Cavan on Saturday afternoon, while on Saturday evening, Armagh footballers were playing Kerry in Tralee. So we're going to round up both of those games. Then we're going to round up the football game first. Then we're going to hear from Kerry's Paul Geaney and Armagh manager Kieran McGeeney, both of the men I spoke to after the game in Tralee. Then I'm going to round up the hurling game, which was on Saturday, Armagh against Cavan as well. So to start, it's the football first, and Armagh suffered a 10-point trouncing at the hands of Kerry on Saturday evening at Austin Stack Park in Tralee. A stunning first half performance from the hosts left Armagh with a real mountain to climb in the second half. Both of Kerry's two three-pointers came during the opening 35 minutes, giving them a 13-point lead at the half-time break. Kieran McGeeney's men did improve things after the turnaround, but not enough to bring them back into the contest. A fired-up Kerry flew out of the chops with three converted frees from top scorer David Clifford inside 4 minutes, and Clifford also could have had a goal inside that time too, but for a brilliant stop by Armagh goalkeeper Blaine Hughes. Clifford's older brother Paddy also split the posts before Armagh finally opened their count through Oisín O'Neill. Micheál Burns also got in on the scoring act before Kerry found the net for the first time after a free-flowing move finished with Paul Geaney raising a green flag. David Clifford and Sean O'Brien added scores to extend Kerry's advantage to 9 points. Rory Grugan kept Armagh's end of the scoreboard operating while Conor Turbot and Clifford exchanged frees. Paddy Clifford then tucked home a neat penalty effort to push the Kingdom further ahead. Rory Grugan claimed another, but Paul Geaney replied at the far side with a point. Armagh could have struck a goal themselves, but a fine Shane Ryan save denied Dara McMullen, while Kerry countered with a Clifford score at the other side of the field. Joe O'Connor and Jason Foley popped up with points as well, while Oisín O'Neill drove over the first two-pointer of the night. David Clifford brought the scoring to a close for the opening half, and that saw Kerry lead by 13 points at the half-time break, leading 0-13 to 0-6. Dale Geaney extended their lead, while Clifford and Grugan exchanged efforts from the dead ball at the start of the second half. Andrew Mernon swapped scores with Paddy Clifford, while Armagh struck 6 points on the bounce to bring them back into the game. O'Neill kick-started the scoring spree while Rory Grugan hit 3 on Stephen Campbell, and Oisín Connery also raised white flags. Substitute Tony Brosnan ended Kerry's wait for a score, and then Jarlio Burns and David Clifford cancelled each other out at either end of the field. Tony Brosnan hit another two either side of a second point from Stephen Campbell to see Kerry charge ahead by 10 points by the time the full-time whistle sounded. Armagh aren't cleared at the bottom of the table yet, which we're going to touch on shortly. They face a huge challenge against Derry next weekend, and of course Derry have already been relegated. So in terms of the scores from Saturday night, Rory Grugan top scored for Armagh. He hit 7 points, 4 of those coming from frees, while Oisín O'Neill also claimed 4. He hit 1 free, 1 from play, and a 2-pointer from a free as well. Stephen Campbell hit 2 after coming in from the bench, while Conor Turbot, Andrew Mernon, Oisín Conde and Jarlio Burns all claimed a point apiece for Armagh as well. For Kerry, David Clifford top scored. He hit 0-10-7 coming from place ball efforts, while Paddy Clifford hit 1-2, including that first half penalty. Dylan Geaney was the other goal scorer. He ended with 1-1, while Tony Brosnan hit 3 points after coming into the game in the second half as a substitute. 1-pointers then was Micheál Burns, Paul Geaney, Sean O'Brien, Jason Foley and Joe O'Connor all got on the score sheet with a point apiece. The league table then up on the screen provided by GA League Tables on Twitter. As you can see, it's tight at both ends of the division. Derry, as I mentioned, have already been relegated, and it's Derry who Armagh face next Sunday in the Box Athletic Grounds, so Armagh will have home advantage for that. Pretty much Armagh, it's must-win territory, really. If they don't win, then they hope that Tyrone will lose to Dublin, because Armagh, of course, have the head-to-head on Tyrone. There is a situation possibly that if Kerry lose to Galway, and Armagh and Tyrone both draw their games, those three teams will finish on 6 points. Then that'll come down to score difference. There's also the case that if Armagh and Tyrone both win, they'll get 7 points, when Mayo are on 7 at the minute, and if they lose to Donegal, they'll finish on 7. So again, three teams finishing on the same points. It goes to score difference. So it's in Armagh's hands. They need to win against Derry, who have already been relegated. So it's hard to know what they're going to bring to the game. So that's the football roundup. As I said, we spoke to Paul Geaney and Kieran McGeeney after the game on Saturday night, so we'll hear from them now.
2025 season is here, and it comes with huge ambition and momentum both on and off the pitch. We're building for the future, investing in top-class county training facilities to support our players and county teams. Thanks to your support, we've already made incredible progress delivering 2 full-size grass pitches. Now work is underway on a brand new strength and conditioning hub, but we're not stopping there. This is a game-changing time for our county, and we need your support to take it to the next level. Join us in building a brighter future for our teams, our players, and the generations to come.
Kieran, tough night at the office down in Tralee here.
Definitely a tough first half. We just were asleep and physically pushed around all over the pitch. But listen, you have nights like that, and you just have to learn from them and move on.
You said about the first half, a bit of improvement in the second half, which I'm sure you're happy with.
Yeah, I think we won. I think it was 12-7 was it the second half, but we probably took a few extra chances that we didn't need to trying to work a goal, and ended up giving away 3 or 4 points. So I think we did okay, but just the first half was very disappointing.
That's probably down to just chasing the game and trying to maybe force chances, was it?
Yeah, definitely at the end there. We give them 4 points coming into the home stretch, and we probably should have had 2 or 3 ourselves. Maybe looking for that extra goal or sort of pass. So it was disappointing from that point of view. But I say at least the boys, they didn't lay down. They stood up in the second half.
And Kieran, on a positive note, Kieran Mackin back in tonight, Joe McElroy come on as well. 2 boys seeing minutes for the first time this year.
Yeah, no, it was great. We lost Tomas, and we have Grimbo and Ross McQuillan. So we've had a few sort of back, and Ben there tonight again. But I don't know how he was a dead leg or his hamstring again. So you seem to be getting 2 or 3 back in, and you'll be losing 2 or 3 out the other side. But listen, we're just pushing to try and stay up in the division and keep going, and hopefully get all our boys back for the championship.
And Jason Duffy there as well, I think just in the warm-up, was it? Yeah,
we lost Jason in the warm-up. It was just hamstring. I don't think it went with him, but he was starting to feel it tight, and we just didn't want to take the chance. So there was a couple of big changes needed for the game on the last day, between Aiton and Tomas and Jason, Ross McQuillan. You're missing a lot of pace in there throughout the middle. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but listen, these are things you have to deal with.
And Derry now next week, Kieran, obviously we don't know, they're playing tomorrow, so as we speak here, we don't know what their situation is, but back in front of a home crowd again. Armagh haven't been beaten home turf this year so far, so a big game next week.
Yeah, massive game. And Derry, outside of their Dublin game, have been very impressive. Like us a couple of years ago, they've just been necked by a point or 2 in games, and they've been really strong. So listen, we have it all to do still, we're intent on staying up in the first division and giving the Armagh fans something to cheer about, hopefully in our last game. So listen, be all hands to the pump and having a go at it.
Great stuff, Kieran. Thank you.
Cheers.
Come on.
Yeah, probably the most complete performance we had in the league so far, so it was building to this, but our backs were to the wall tonight, so it was fairly easy to get up for it. We needed a couple of points and we needed a big display to getting close to championship. So it's hard to know. It was tough to have five in the trot, alright, and we had a couple of long distance trips north and up to Mayo, so it might have, but we had a couple of days off, and look, we came back tonight and we were clearly refreshed and ready for road tonight. So Armagh on the flip side then had to come down the long journey, so it's probably a tough one for them. My football's been on the up the last couple of years again. I probably struggled for a little while with needles in the body. where I was kind of getting to a certain level but not able to get back to a good level, and with the last 2 years I've been steadily climbing back to there, and I feel I'm there at the moment. I'm very happy with my form, very happy with where the body is, and really enjoying my football at the moment. We learn from every game. There's aspects of the play that you could say, did you learn from Tyrone, did you learn from Dublin, did you learn from Mayo, we learned from all the games so far, and I think we put together a pretty solid performance tonight. Solid at the back in the first half, very good in midfield again, very good in breaking ball, good movement up front, selfless with the ball, giving the ball in the best position, taking our scores, bar a small patch in the first half, and then weathering a team coming back at you, which happens with these rules. When a team gets the upper hand, and they need to come out and fight, and they win a couple of breaking balls in the trot and get a couple of decisions. We weathered that when that came at us. Yeah, of course, yeah, they are. In fairness, they are skewed, I suppose, towards forward play, and look, that's very entertaining as a spectator, and obviously it's very enjoyable as a forward, or any attacking style player, any player that likes the attacking side of the game. But on the flip side, we had some great defending too. We didn't concede too many goal chances, and we didn't concede a goal tonight. And our backs were well able to step up and not concede those chances on the other side. So while we scored a nice few goals so far in the league, we've been pretty good with not conceding as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably unrealistic to think you're going to get that every day. You'll get patches and spells of that, and I'm sure that some coaches out there will figure out how to slow that down or stop that, which happened a little bit in the second half, but we still managed to get different scores, put it that way. So we can't rely on just the quick foot pass. It's nice to see it when it happens. We can't rely on it, so we'll have to come up with other ways of scoring as well. Especially when we were one of the teams that they beat on the way to the All-Ireland, so and that was disappointing. It's obviously still in the hurt locker, so that was pleasing, alright, to have a nice win tonight. The most recent one obviously would be they all are, but I suppose as time goes on, it can be hard to pull emotions for other ones, but that's the most recent one. So that was obviously to the forefront as well. That's something that we've been trying to really push, is the intensity, and again, we had patches of that in all the games, but we just didn't put it together when the team came back at us. But tonight we were able to turn back up the intensity. I think it was Dylan Casey turned one over there when they were kind of on top. He just took it off, and off we went up the field. And then we had intensity in our play still. We maybe fell into the trap of being more laxed and cautious in games gone by. We didn't really have too much of that tonight, which was pleasing. Obviously, we have to work on it again. We won't get carried away with tonight's win. It's nice to win, especially when our back is to the wall. But we have to turn around next week, go up to Galway, and it's only halfway through the season now.
On to the hurling then, and Armagh were in Breffni Park on Saturday afternoon, and they took a huge step towards safety in Division 3 as they defeated Cavan 2-21 to 2-15. Kieran McGeeney's side aren't quite safe from relegation just yet, and we'll touch on that at the end of the show, but it's well within their grasp. Having lost 3 of the 4 previous outings, Armagh headed into this game with just 2 points on the board. That was now with a 6-point win over Cavan. They're now on 4 points level with Cavan in the table, which we'll touch on at the end of the show. Larcher County made an unbelievable start to proceedings, soaring 5 points ahead early on. It was the star man Shea Harvey who was at the centre of that fast start, and the Katie man rattled off 1-2 inside the opening 3 minutes. Cavan replied with their first score of the game, but it was cancelled out at the far side by Joe Burke, while Shea Harvey and Shea Gaffney both pointed before Cavan raised another white flag through a Canis Maher free. The Breffni men got back into contention with a Sean Keaton goal before Harvey and Keaton swapped scores at either end. Joe Burke grabbed his second of the day before Conor Ranahan, Shea Harvey, Cian Laverty, Charlie McArdle and Kieran Duffy landed scores for Armagh. Cavan finished the half with a flurry of their own and had a scoring spree with 4 successive points. That saw Armagh's lead dwindle to just 5 by the half-time break. They were ahead 1-12 to 1-7 at the interval. Like the first half, Shea Harvey opened the scoring for the second with a converted 65, which was matched at the other end. Harvey added a further brace to his tally while Shea Gaffney and Keaton exchanged pointed efforts. Two more Shea Harvey frees were split by Nicholas Kenny, while the home side nabbed a second goal to make it a 3-point game. Tom Leonard closed the gap for Cavan before Armagh raised their second green flag through Danny McGee. Both sides split the posts at either end before the final whistle sounded, with Aaron Cullihan hitting 2 points while Shea Harvey added another from a free for the Archer County. Armagh have a real chance of staying in the division now, and they face a huge test against league leaders London next weekend, but they will have home advantage. So just on the scorers for the Armagh hurlers, then Shea Harvey was the star man. He hit 111, including that early goal and 10 points from dead ball efforts. Danny McGee was a substitute, and he made a big difference coming on, hitting the all-important goal in the second half. Three players finished on 2 points, and they were Shea Gaffney, Joe Burke, and Aaron Cullihan, while Conor Ranahan, Cian Laverty, Kieran Duffy, and Charlie McYardle all hit 1 point apiece. So for the Armagh hurlers, they play London next weekend, who are already in the league final. So Armagh possibly hoping they'll take their foot off the gas slightly. Armagh are currently on 4 points, as are Roscommon and Cavan. So at the minute, going by score difference, if it remains that those three teams are on the same points, Armagh would be relegated. The good thing is that Cavan have a bye next week, so they have no game this week. The maximum points they're going to finish on is 4, so even a draw next weekend would do for Armagh just to finish above Cavan. Roscommon take on Sligo. Sligo already relegated, so it's likely Roscommon will pick up 2 points there, while Wicklow and Mayo are operating at the top end of the table, so that doesn't really impact Armagh next weekend. So a draw will do Armagh. They'll obviously be going for the win, and it's a huge game to ensure that they stay up in Division 3. So that's our roundup of this weekend's show. We will be back on Thursday as usual. We'll be looking forward to Armagh's final league clash against already relegated Derry, and we'll be discussing all the ins and outs of that game and the hope for the Archer County to stay in the top tier for another year. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and make sure to tune in once again on Thursday.